Have you ever looked at some ancient ruin and just your brain just kind of short circuits trying to figure out how? How did they possibly build this? Well, today we're going to dive into some of history's most baffling puzzles. We're talking monuments, artifacts, things that seem to completely defy everything we think we know about our own past. But you know what? This isn't just about staring at the mystery, it's about how modern science is finally starting to crack the code. Okay, so let's jump right in. We're going to start with the sites that really make you question everything. These are the kinds of places that just scream lost, impossibly advanced civilization. They feel, they feel impossible. So, I want you to meet Göbekli Tepe. It's in modern-day Turkey, and get this, it was built 11,600 years ago. That is 6,000 years older than Stonehenge and a full 7,000 years older than the Great Pyramids. It is by far the oldest known temple on Earth. And here's the kicker. It really shouldn't exist. See, according to our whole historical timeline, the people who built this place were hunter-gatherers. They shouldn't have had agriculture, no metal tools, no complex society to speak of. And yet somehow, they organized this massive workforce to carve and lift these incredible 10-ton pillars. This one discovery just flips our entire understanding of civilization completely on its head. It actually suggests that it was this shared need to build something huge, something monumental, like a religious hub, that maybe, just maybe, spurred the invention of farming, not the other way around. Okay, next up, let's head over to Baalbek in Lebanon. Here you find something called the Trilithon, 3 massive foundation stones. And when I say massive, I mean it's hard to even wrap your head around it. Each one weighs up to 1,000 tons. That's like, 150 full-grown elephants? And they were cut from a quarry a kilometer away, moved uphill, and then placed so perfectly you literally can't slide a piece of paper between them. And here's the crucial point. This isn't just, oh, that was really difficult. No, it's considered impossible, even with our technology today. The world's biggest mobile cranes would break a sweat trying to do this. And they need huge roads and infrastructure. The ancient builders had, none of that. So the question just hangs in the air. How in the world did they do it? And for our last stop in this section, let's go underground, way underground, to Derinkuyu, also in Turkey. Now, this isn't just some cave. This is an entire city, carved out of solid rock, going down 18 stories. It had everything: schools, stables, churches. Its ventilation system is so brilliant that it still works today, pumping fresh air to the very bottom levels. And check this out. It was protected by these 1-ton stone doors that could only be sealed from the inside. You have to ask, who or what were they hiding from? So yeah, these questions are just staggering. And for centuries, they fueled all kinds of speculation. Lost continents, ancient aliens, you name it. But what if there's another way to look at all this? What if we can find the real answers hidden in the evidence that's been right there all along? And this right here is the game changer. This is the fundamental shift from just wild speculation to actual science. It's all about moving past our own assumptions of what we think was possible back then, and instead just following the clues, wherever they might lead us. And today, man, we have a toolkit our predecessors could only dream about. We're talking about everything from satellite imagery that can spot lost cities buried under the sand, to things like infrared thermography that can actually reveal hidden chambers inside the pyramids. We're piecing together a totally new picture of ancient ingenuity. All right, so let's see how this whole scientific toolkit actually works in practice. We're going to look at a few really famous case studies where these long-standing mysteries are finally starting to give up their secrets. First up, the iconic Moai statues of Easter Island, or as the locals call it, Rapa Nui. The puzzle has always been, how did a small, totally isolated population move these 70-ton giants all across the island? The popular theories were always, they rolled them on logs or dragged them on some kind of sled. Well, the answer came from combining two things: the island's own oral traditions and some good old-fashioned experimental archaeology. The local stories always said the statues walked. So researchers took a closer look at the statues that were left unfinished on the roads. They noticed they had this unique D-shaped base and they leaned forward. So they built a concrete replica. And what do you know? With a small, coordinated team and just 3 ropes, they could rock it side to side and make it literally walk forward. It's an incredible display of understanding physics and the pure power of teamwork. Okay, next, let's look at something pulled from a 2,000-year-old Roman shipwreck. It was this hunk of corroded bronze gears. And for decades, it just baffled scientists. Its complexity, the sheer number of intricate gears, seemed totally out of place for the ancient world. But then,
Using high-resolution 3D scanning, researchers were finally able to digitally piece it all back together. And it turned out this wasn't some mystical artifact. It was a mind-bogglingly sophisticated astronomical calculator. It could predict eclipses, it could track the weird, irregular orbit of the moon. This single device forces us to completely redraw our timeline of technological history. It proves the ancient Greeks had a level of mechanical engineering we thought wasn't achieved for another 1,000 years. Just incredible. And now for a really controversial one, the Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513. This old Ottoman map has been at the center of some pretty wild claims, the most famous being that it accurately shows the coast of Antarctica, but without its massive ice cap. But when actual cartographic historians dig into the map, they see a very different story. That supposed Antarctic coast, it doesn't actually match the land under the ice at all. What it does look like is a clever but distorted drawing of the South American coast, basically bent to fit onto the piece of parchment. It was likely combined with the idea of a theoretical southern continent, Terra Australis, which, appeared on maps for centuries. So it's not a map of prehistoric Antarctica. It's a masterful collage of the best geographic knowledge they had at the time. And that last example of the map, it brings us to a really, really important point. How do we tell the difference between a genuine scientific question and a theory that just sounds good, but completely falls apart when you look at it closely? This quote here from a National Institutes of Health article, it really gets to the heart of what we often call pseudo-archaeology. The appeal is that it presents itself as the real truth, a truth that's being suppressed by mainstream experts. It kind of creates this exciting story of conspiracy and hidden knowledge, which is really compelling. So the real difference between the two really just boils down to the method. Scientific archaeology, right? It starts with the evidence and asks, okay, what could this mean? It forms ideas that you can actually go out and test. Pseudo-archaeology, on the other hand, it often starts with a conclusion already in mind, like a lost Ice Age civilization built this, and then it just goes looking for any little piece of evidence to confirm that idea, while conveniently ignoring anything that doesn't fit. You see the difference? The goal isn't to understand the past, it's to prove a belief you already have. So does this mean the magic is all gone? That science is just explaining away all the wonder and the mystery? Absolutely not. In fact, I'd say it does the exact opposite. The truth, when you really think about it, is so much more impressive. It is way more awe-inspiring to know that a group of hunter-gatherers at Göbekli Tepe figured out how to organize their society to build a massive temple than to just imagine some lost civilization did it for them. It's so much more amazing that the Rapa Nui people figured out how to walk giant statues using physics and teamwork than to believe in some forgotten magic technology. And look, science doesn't get rid of mystery, it just refines it. It gives us better, more interesting questions. We still have these profound puzzles. We might know how the Nazca lines were made, but we still don't fully get how they kept them so precise over miles and miles. We found these incredible artifacts from the Songxingdui civilization in China, but we have no idea why they just vanished. These are the real frontiers now. And this, right here, this is what's so brilliant about the whole process. The real excitement of discovery isn't about getting one final neat answer for everything. It's this continuous process of learning, where every new piece of the puzzle you find just reveals an even bigger, more fascinating picture behind it. So, when it comes right down to it, the story of our past isn't some closed book of secrets that are gone forever. It's an active investigation, and it's happening right now. The true wonder, the real magic, isn't in fantasizing about what might have been lost. It's in the thrilling reality of what we're still uncovering every single day. The question is, what will we learn next?